Hello and welcome back to yet another Doctor Who video where I'm going to be ranking yet another something about the Doctors. This time we're going to be talking about the costumes or the clothes, the outfits or whatever you want to call them that the Doctor wears in their tenure. And if one of the Doctors has loads of variations of an outfit, I will tell you my favourite variation. Without out the way, let's start by going to last place, obviously, which I'm sure not a lot of you are surprised by this, but it had to be this huge, awful, arrogant-looking rainbow coat worn by the 6th Doctor, Colin Baker. Now, the main problem with this costume that everybody knows by now is that it is so obnoxiously bright and just in your face all the time, 24/7. I think even if his long jacket was even just like a few less colours that were a little bit more, dimmed down a little bit, I would have a lot less issues in this costume. The trousers though are another point. They are just yellow with a few thin black stripes, which are also very sticky outy, which could also, be dimmed up a little bit to make it look a bit more natural. The only really variant with this costume is that the cravat changes from like green to red and Trial of a Time Lord, and green/bluish pretty much all of season 22. So yeah, there's not really enough differences for me to like class them as different variants. It's literally just one colour that's changed on one little small item of the costume. But yeah, that's easily my least favourite Doctor Who costume ever. But one that's not too far behind and that might shock a lot of people is actually the 8th Doctor's costume. Now, of course, the 8th Doctor did have two variants of his costume. He had the TV movie in 1996 and the Night of the Doctor style in 2013. And I think the Night of the Doctor costume is so much better than the movie costume. It just suits Paul McGann so much more. I do think the 1996 one is basically just what you would grab out of a hospital, which of course is what he did, but it does seem really random for that Doctor. It doesn't really show much of his character. It is very much, to me, it does remind me of Pertwee's costume in the fact that it is old. It's kind of like a Victorian stylish costume with brighter colours, and it doesn't reflect really on what the Doctor acts like. And I do think Night of the Doctor reflects on how that Doctor is turning into a warrior, getting more scruffy, etc. And the Night of the Doctor costume works much better. Alright, in 12th place, I have put the First Doctor's costume. Looking at the First Doctor's costume, I think my main gripe is that there's nothing that really stands out. It is all just a little bit dull, basically the same colour. I know I said that I think a dimmer Colin Baker's would look good, but that it's just because his is so bright, and a little bit dimmer would work a lot better. But yeah, William Hartnell's is basically just black jacket with I don't even know what colour that really is, but it's like a peachy brownish sort of colour, like a vest, I think, or well Americans call it a vest, but it's like a waistcoat. There's nothing just to stand out. It's just that it's just standard Victorian clothes. I mean, it was basically the first time he stayed on Earth, and he stayed in it for a long time, so you'd want to try and fit in, but it just is unremarkable. In 11th place on this list, I've put Sylvester McCoy's costume, the 7th Doctor. Now, I don't mind this costume, I really don't mind it at all, and I think I would really like the costume if it wasn't for the huge amount of question marks on his jumper. It's absolutely ridiculous. Do you really need that many? This Doctor also had an umbrella which used the curve of the bottom umbrella. I don't know what's it called. Tip of the umbrella? Nah, that'd be the top, wouldn't it? But you know what I mean, the bottom of the umbrella. And they used it to kind of make that the question mark, which was so much more clever and more realistic than just putting 100 question marks on a jumper. And of course, this Doctor did have two variants of this costume as well. He had the dark jacket from season 26 and season 24 and 25's more light beige kind of jacket. And you know what? I don't really know which one I prefer. On one side, I really do like the darker one because it shows Sylvester McCoy's darker side in that final series of Doctor Who. It is a darker 7th Doctor that we get to see. That kind of, I suppose it kind of starts coming out in Remembrance of the Dalek, which obviously I know is in season 25, but that's when you kind of get the grasp that he's a more serious Doctor. But I also love the beige one because it does go with everything else. You can put either or, I don't mind, either or jacket. I do like the jacket a lot. Of course, it's just the question mark jumper that lets this one down a lot. Next, in 10th place, I put the 2nd Doctor's costume. The way I feel about this costume is very similar to the way I feel about William Hartnell's Doctor Who costume. It is basically just black Victorian wear, but Patrick Troughton's does seem a little bit more doctory. He's added a bow tie. The shirt, I don't know about the shirt, it just looks more bluish. I don't think it is blue, but it just looks like it in the picture that I've chosen. I do like it. And of course, in the 3 Doctors, it also looks a bit more like a bluish tinge. Of course, his trousers as well, they're a bit weirder. They seem to have square patterns on it, and they are a different colour, so they're more unique as well. So yeah, for me, it was very similar to William Hartnell's It's just that this seemed a bit more doctory to me. In ninth place, I put the 12th Doctor's costume, which had quite a fair few variants, but I basically put the main two, which is the Series A and basically Series 10. There's not really that much different suit, and then the Series 9 and I guess a little bit of 10's hoodie. I do like this costume, and I do like it a fair bit. I think it is very simplistic, and I think that's why it works really well with Capaldi's Doctor. He is a more stripped back and more strict version of the Doctor, especially for the modern era where they're all kind of jumpy and more energetic, I should say. I'm not as big of a fan on the hoodie as I am on the suit. I do think the suit looks a lot better on Capaldi, and I think it suits Capaldi's Doctor a lot more than a hoodie, and the electric car as well. But that's not really part of the costume. I can't really talk much about that. Anyway, yeah, I do think the suit is far, far, far more superior than the hoodie and the t-shirt. Although the trousers and the hoodie and the t-shirt and the picture that I've chosen, I do really like them. They are like Patrick Troughton's trousers. They are quite unique, and I do like them. In 8th place, I put the 5th Doctor's costume. And the 5th Doctor's costume, again, is a little bit boring, but I can see the Doctor wearing just a cricket outfit, because if that's what this incarnation likes to do, he'll probably just wear it all the time. Now, there is a slight difference between the variations. I believe in season 21, there is a larger orange stripe, and the trousers are a bit more orange, or the stripe's red, but like, there's not like enough change for me to warrant it as like a different variation. But season 21's, I think, is a lot better. In 7th place, I put Jodie Whittaker's outfit, and I can guarantee you this is the highest that her Doctor will ever be in any of these lists. Her outfit I like so much because it's a bit of everything while still seeming like something new. So of course you've got the rainbow stripes on her shirt that are like the 4th Doctor's scarf. You've got the long grey coat that's like Tennant's brown coat. And you've got the trouser braces like 11th Doctor has. But if you change them a little bit, change the colours around and put them on a feminine body, I don't know why, it just works, It just really does suit Jodie's character of the Doctor, even though I hate her to bits. It does suit the bubbly character that she played. But yeah, overall, I do just really, really like this outfit. In 6th, I put the War Doctor's outfit, which I think is just a perfect blend between the 8th Doctor's and 9th Doctor's outfit. It's got the leather jacket of the 9th, and it's got the weird, I guess, what do you call it? Cravat? Is that it? I could well just make myself look like an idiot, but I'm going to guess cravat of the 8th Doctor, and it's a perfect mix, and it does really look like it's battered, and he's been in war for hundreds of years, which he had. And whoever was picking this costume was obviously really clever, because this wasn't planned. Obviously, it was supposed to be Christopher Eccleston originally back for the anniversary, and he would have just worn his own costume, the black leather jacket, the jumper, and it would have just been normal. But the costume person looked at Christopher Eccleston and said, well, we could do that, he could have just worn that. And he obviously, or he or she, whatever, I can't misgender nowadays, looked at Paul McGann's costume, and they were like, alright, we could just do that, we could have him wear that. But they decided to mix, and I think it worked spectacularly well, and I really do like it. In 5th place, we were just speaking about him, it's Christopher Eccleston's costume, which I love. I know I've said it for 2 now, but I really love this. Also, this might seem, I don't know if this might seem cruel or whatever to some of you, but I do think the costume suits Christopher Eccleston's face. It is more of a rough, out-of-the-way face. I didn't mean even to say face, I meant to say costume. Yeah, it's a much different costume, and obviously Christopher Eccleston was someone who I don't think a lot of people expect him to be the Doctor because of the stuff he'd been in and what he looked like. There was a picture that was him with a beard and longer hair that was leaked in the BBC in 2005 when he was supposed to be the Doctor, and people, I'm sure, were a bit confused. But when he looks like this and this costume, it does just feel complete, and I really do like it for him. In 4th place, I put the 10th Doctor's outfit. Now, of course, there are 2 variants for this one. There's the brown suit and there's the blue suit. There's a couple of ones in between, but they're basically the main 2. And the blue suit was used a lot less than the brown suit. I do feel the brown suit was a little bit overused. I mean, the blue suit didn't get introduced really until Series 3. And then it was used for about, I'd say, 40% of the series. And then in Series 4, maybe 20%. So I do think the brown was a bit overused. But I don't mind which one. I could wear any. I think I suit the blue one a bit more. But either or really, either or. I like both of them. Quite simplistic, but quite odd how he wears Converse trainers with them as well. Yeah, it's just those little unique things that make this outfit really, really good. So either or, I wouldn't mind. So in 3rd place, I've gone with the costume of the 3rd Doctor. There are so many variants of this costume. I can't put them all into one thing, so I've just put my favourite variant, which is the Time Warrior variant, I'm pretty certain. The 3rd Doctor was such a huge step up from the costumes that were, dark of the 1st and 2nd, which was basically just black, and then a white shirt. This had so many colours. It was so colourful. There was always a different colour jacket, it seemed. There was a bow tie. Sometimes he would wear like a cape. So there would be a cravat. There would be so much, and it would just suit him all the time. Third Doctor was perfect to wear these, and never in our lifetime when we'll see a man like John Pertwee we'd be able to pull off everything that this Doctor had to wear. It's so fun, even for me who's still catching up with some of the classic episodes. Just thinking of what he could be wearing in some of them, it's really fun, and it's so good. Now, just narrowly missing out on a number one spot, in second place I've put Matt Smith's costume. Now, I think both of these variants of the costume really sum up Matt Smith's personality as the Doctor. They're very unique, very witty, and very childlike. It really does suit Matt Smith's 11th Doctor when he is wearing them. Especially for me, the second variant with the purple long trench coat and the darker, like, spotty bow tie. I really, really, really like that little change. I do like this first style from series 5, 6 and 7A, but for me the purple one just does it. Now, my number one spot, it had to be the fourth Doctor's costumes. If you go up on the street and ask a random person, think of Doctor Who, most likely they'll be thinking of a long scarf which was only worn in the Tom Baker years as his main costume. And that's how you know they did something right, because people still remember the scarf and it's been over 40 years since it's been worn. Now, obviously the fourth Doctor stayed for 7 seasons and the amount of variants was mad. So I'm gonna have to pick a couple. I really, really love his original season 12 variant with the short little red jacket and the scarf that's a lot tighter around the neck. I also really do like the season 15 variant, and I am quite keen on the season 18 variant as well, with all darker reds matching together, because it does make a sense of like it's a funeral, it's sad, and he's gonna be gone soon, which of course did happen at the end of season 18. But they are all my Doctor's costume ranked from best to worst. Let me know if you agree, and I'll see you in my next video. Farewell.